So tonight we're so fortunate to have Osmar and Marcela Vasquez, the Director of Latin American Studies at the University of Arizona, to give these social perspectives.
Right. So Marcela was mentioning that she's been recently in the field since 2010, learning about what's happening in the community. Osmar, CEDO's been back in San Felipe doing this anthropological work for the last 2 years, Osmar for the last year. And things just keep falling apart. So it's really important to understand what's happening so we can see about a path forward. And whether we succeed in saving Vaquita or not, we need to do something for the communities as well, and we need to learn for how to do this on a world scale. So Osmar, I think I mentioned, he graduated from the University of Guanajuato in 2016 in social anthropology. And his specialty is studying violence and immigration issues, which come to play here. And I mentioned he's been working for CEDO for the last year, and will tell us what things are like there in San Felipe. So.
I hope that my bad English can be understandable. Well, I have been working in San Felipe, mainly in San Felipe, but also in Golfo de Santa Clara for the last year. I started in February of 2018. We were trying to understand or to know the experience of the fishing sector in the context of the Vaquita conservation programs. For that, social anthropologist Victor Ricardes and I embrace an anthropological fieldwork using social research techniques such as participatory observation, interviews, and ethnographic conversation. This exercise allowed us to know in a close way the forms in which coastal communities relate with nature. Also, it allowed us to know their experience in the conservation programs and in sustainable fishing projects and in common pool resource management. We also have been working with the students between 15 and 18 years old in a applied science project. This science applied to conservation and community development. We are trying to encourage them to find solutions to the problems they have in their communities with a vision of sustainability and trying to help in the conservation of species. We also have been working with artists, artisans, local producers, and local tourism service providers to trying to strengthen their small businesses through the network program that CEDO is developing. Well, all this with the purpose of helping to redo the social fabric that has been destructured in the context of the increase of the totuaba trafficking and as a collateral effect of the suspension of the fishing in the Upper Gulf of California and the compensation program and the increase of violence in different forms. Well, this is the way we are working First of all, we made a socio-cultural diagnosis in Villalobos, California. We know the local knowledge, the habitus and experience of key actors. We try to link different key actors to work together in solutions for their problems. And then aiming to rural development, conservation and management of natural resources of common use. Well, this is our methodological framework: studies, semi-structured interviews, specialized literature, participatory action research, intersector and intercommunity workshops, management recommendations that results in a socio-cultural diagnosis, planning, collective planning for collective action, implementing solutions, which are management programs, environmental education, and productive projects. Well, it's important to say that at the time we start to work in the upper of California, it was the third year of the suspension of fishing in the region. It was estimated that the vaquira population at that time did not exceed 30 individuals, while total furtive fishing did not stop. On the other hand, alternative fishing gear and productive projects alternative to fishing had not been developed yet, and moreover, the compensation program had a delay of 3 months, which is a very, very serious problem because a lot of families in the upper of California depends on this income, or this is the only income they have. In the context of the fishing suspension in the upper of California, there's a strong dependence on the social compensation implemented by Mexican government. Fishermen have hardly been able to get jobs in fields other than fishing. When they
In Spanish, I'll help you. In Spanish, one night.
Tiro en español.
Sí. Cuando han logrado emplearse en otras áreas alternativas de la pesca,
When
ha
they've
sido,
been able to work in other jobs other than fishing. Okay.
ha sido principalmente en empleos escasamente remunerados.
That it's been in jobs that are not very well paid.
Yeah, they have been employed temporarily in fields as mechanics, construction, car washes, security guards, or repairing pangas. Works or jobs that do not compare with the income they have while they fish. This is a result of the lack of job opportunities the upper Gulf of California had, and as well as the age of the fishermen, the low level of education, and their inexperience in other fields other than fishing. A small segment of the fishing sector has been employed in the field of environmental management, doing, for example, vaquira, or supporting in the vaquira acoustic monitoring, or testing with nets, or using their skills and knowledge to extract illegal nets from the sea. In addition, a lot of fishermen admits to to be involved in the illegal fishing of Tutuala because they don't have any other options to employ them. And in both cases, fishermen uses their cultural capital or their knowledge, their skills to be employed in the environmental management or in the Tutuala traffic. That's why we strongly believe that knowledge and skills must be reoriented to the environmental management and the development of alternative gears, fishing gears, and another alternative jobs. It is also true that the compensation program is the only income they have, but it is also true that a lot of fishermen have been excluded from this program because permit holders have decided to exclude them to put in their place their relatives. And
Osmar, can you take 2 minutes to describe the compensation program in case people aren't familiar with or where that started?
the Mexican government, when it was decided to suspend the fishing in the Gulf of California, trying to maintain their levels of
Income.
their income, implemented a compensation program that gives 8,000 pesos to workers of the pangas, and between 8,000 pesos and 25,000 pesos to the permit holders and
Members of the cooperative.
members of the cooperative. But this negotiation or this program was negotiated with the permit holders, so they could exclude whoever they want and
bring in other
Yeah.
people that they know.
yeah. So it was
Including their families.
Yes.
Yeah.
people who have never been in the sea. So that's a very, very serious problem because the fishermen were excluded and they don't have any other options for income. So many of them, to compensate this lack of income, have decided to go to the fishing because they don't have any other options.
I have a question. Is that because the state just gives the money?
What?
The federal government gives them the money, right?
Yeah.
Directly?
No. Well,
Yes.
yes. They have cards in which government deposit the money, but some permit holders have.
The permit holders gave the government the list of who should get the money, and the individuals get the money, but they controlled who got the money.
It's fixed.
Well, some points of the problem that we recognize is that there is an unresolved need for technological alternatives. There is not, in almost 4 years of the suspension of the fishing, there is there is not a year that has
Social acceptability?
yeah, social acceptability. The government has development some limits or some years, but the fishermen doesn't accept it because they argue that they capture less than they used to capture other years. And this is a problem because they are not involving the fishing sector in the development of these years. So that's one of the solutions to the problem of the upper Gulf of California. Well, in general terms, the suspension of fishing in the upper Gulf of California has meant material and symbolic removal of the communities,
Livelihood.
yeah, of their livelihood. It has worked in practice as a structure of enclosing sources because they can't use those resources. It has deepening the inequality in economical and political power in the community because it's not only.
Si quieres en Spanglish, está bien.
Sí.
Sí. No, en serio.
Sí, mejor porque.
Sí.
He's doing good in English. He's doing good in English. He'll lose a lot of people. Yeah. But if you miss one word, say it in Spanish.
You're doing great.
Yeah, you're doing good. You are.
Well, the suspension of the fishing in the upper Gulf of California has structured conflict over resources. And this conflict is negotiated and challenged by different local actors in the communities. They develop many mechanisms of reappropriation of the resources and the territory according to their experience, social practices, economic activities, and particular environmental perceptions. Actually, the fishing of Totuaba is one of them. And well, one of the consequences of this suspension of the fishing in the upper Gulf of California is the tension between the fishing sector and the communities and NGOs and government, because they apparently have different interests, and they are pushing, in different ways.
Our own interest.
Huh?
Yeah.
Pushing our
Yeah.
own
As I said, one of the results of this suspension of the fishing in the upper Gulf of California is the increase of the Totoaba fishing for its swimming bladder traffic to China. I'm going to read a little bit because it is complex. It has been evident that in the context of the suspension of fishing in the upper Gulf of California, Totoaba illegal fishing has increased, a boom that threatens not only to disappear the vaquita, but to transform politically, economically, socially, and culturally the coastal communities. While legal fishermen were restricted in their access to marine resources, and a large segment of the fishing sector was excluded from the economic compensation program, their place was occupied by mafia-type criminal organizations that have incorporated Totoaba swim bladder traffic within their illegal economic activities, and that has developed new forms of regulations on access to resources. Mafia-type criminal organization had employed the local population, mainly fishing workers and inexperienced young people who have found in this activity a mechanism that allows them to overcome economic stagnation, the decrease in access to the territory, and the lack of economic alternatives and the characteristic of non-mobility towards other productive sectors. In addition, it allows compliance with certain gender norms that, in the Mexican context, have historically defined the legitimate male. That is, their role as providers, economic respectability, indifference to danger, and the affirmation of authority in different levels. Youth has undoubtedly been one of the most affected social groups by the exclusion of economic and cultural development in the upper Gulf of California. It has been evident mainly in the Gulf of Santa Clara, where males about 13 years old or 14 years old are drinking in the streets with guns and driving huge cars or huge trucks, and they are fishing the Tuala and dying in the sea because they don't have any experience. And not only dying in the sea because of its inexperience, but murder them each other.
Killing each other.
Yeah, kill.
Yeah.
Well, our position is that the concern for biodiversity must encompass not only the treating flora and fauna, but the communities as guardians and as guardians of their environment and producers. The challenge in this sense is to find ways for flora, fauna, and human communities to prosper by enriching the region as a productive and inclusive zone. The complex panorama described, or the complex situation described, makes it a little bit, makes it difficult to reorient productive practices towards sustainable and autonomous economic development that harmonizes the ecological, cultural, and economic conditions of the region and the communities, and that guarantee the reproduction of human life, but non-human life too. Well, for that, we were organizing a lot of meetings in which members of the communities, technicians, scientists, members of the government work in a collective way to plan possible solutions to the problem that we have in the upper California. We are trying to reorient the practices in the upper Gulf of California to a new form of governance that is conformed by the recreation of ties among people, common vision of future, collective planning and actions, common pool resource management, and works like this. The first step is information. Is to provide information to decision makers, cover information gaps, resolve or prevent conflicts, and promote social learning. The second step is the collective action. It's democratic principles and influence on decision making, democratic practice and agency, pluralism and representation, empowering marginalized groups, inverting the role of decision makers. Because what we have is a top to bottom logical decision. What we have to do is invert that structure and build from bottom to top. Well, these are some actions we are promoting. Sustainable economic development, which involves diversification of economic diversification, but diversification according to the ecological and cultural vocation of the communities and the region. Alternative fishing technologies that fishermen help to design, and market incentives for seafood products extracted with sustainable fishing gear and follow other measures of sustainability. Conservation and management projects promote projects that benefit the conservation and recovery of the vaquita and other important species, not only the vaquita, but the totuaba, corvina, and a lot of the shrimp. And environmental education, engaging youth through research, sensitization, and collective actions. And these are some groups which we are working with. CEDO, Cobach, students between 15 and 18 in San Felipe, students from high school. This is a union in San Felipe named Cinco Islas. They are developing right now a mariculture project, sport fishing, and ecotourism, like 75 kilometers south San Felipe, in Puertecitos.
South Felipe, yeah.
Costeña San Felipe, Unión Californiana, they are a couple, and they have two projects, Costeña San Felipe and Unión Californiana. They do mariculture, sport fishing, ecotourism, and he has a plant for smoked fishing. So the products from Costeña San Felipe goes to the processing plant or the smoking. Artisans from Puertecitos, they do jewelry through nets extracted by sea shepherd, for example. Well, this is a project that we are pushing. It's not concrete right now, but we want to develop a community cinema in San Felipe and design some cycles oriented to sustainability and education, environmental education, and other topics. Golfo Santa Clara. They have also a co-op for mariculture. And sport fishing, and ecotourism, senderism. And we think that the future lies in our memory, or in the memory of the communities, the imagination, and the vision for the future. I'm very sorry for my bad English.